What is going on, college basketball fans? It is about 15 minutes away until we are going to have a bracket. Let's go. Already got a bunch of people in here. What's up to everybody in the chat? Let me know who you guys have as your bubble teams. Who's getting in this year and who is going to be left out, because we had a lot of bid stealers this year. NC State and Oregon ruined it for a lot of teams. So didn't Dayton and FAU, choking their conference tournaments, getting 2-bid A10 and a 2-bid American. Let's get it. Let's get it. Get St. John's in. Yeah, I have St. John's in. You can see scrolling down, you can see my last 4 in and my first 4 out right now. Just a prediction. I don't know for sure, but we're about to find out real soon. It's insane that the last 4 in games are about to be the 10 seed line. The 10 seed line, which is crazy. No, sadly, Temple was not in. They lost to UAB, but that would have been crazy to see Temple win. We almost got to see Brown make the tournament as a negative record. Like, Temple almost made it in. Like, we were about to see a bunch of very interesting teams make the big dance this year. Yo, what's up, QT? What's up, Michaela? What's up, Tyler? What's up, Scott? Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Welcome to the stream. We're going to do, as soon as the bracket gets revealed and we watch the whole bracket get revealed, we are going to be filling out some brackets here on stream tonight. And I'm thinking for the first bracket that I do here on stream, we're going to try to break down a lot of the matchups. So we're going to try to figure out, take our time with it on stream so we can both learn more about these teams. I know about most of the teams, but a deeper breakdown. DJ Burns is going to take over March. Dude, yeah, he's a beast, man. He is a beast. The way that they ran the ACC is very impressive. And usually teams like that, they get a bid steal, are dangerous in March. Yo, what's up, Al Squire? How you doing, my man? What's up, Mikey, man? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Jason? What's up, Andrew? West Virginia getting in? Bro, wait till you see WVU as the at-large, man. As the at-large. Nah, we ain't even in the NIT. We had one of the worst seasons in program history. Yo, Drake Berry with the $5 dono. I appreciate it, my man. Drake, one of the longest time subscribers on my channel. He's been subscribed to me since before 500 subs. Shout out to my man, Drake. He says, you think UAB could make a run this year? They looked really, really good. Yeah, they have some solid players on their team, and the way they ran the American is very, very impressive. Very impressive. And, yeah, they did not take Temple lightly. They beat them up like they were supposed to. Yeah, UAB, 100%. They get the right matchups. They could for sure make a run. And we got Dave coming in here. What's up, Dave? I appreciate you with the $5 dono. Let's get it. He says, is it me or Wally Ziak looks like the Geico caveman and Zoolander had a baby? That's an interesting combination. You got the Geico caveman who looks like an absolute Neanderthal and Zoolander who's called yeah, kind of interesting. I appreciate the donos. Thank you guys. Yeah, I did get your email, Al Squire. That was pretty sick. Yeah, SEC doing it best, man. Across all sports, they are doing it really good. Yo, what's up, Jakers? My man. My brother Jacob in the chat. Yo, what's up, Scott? Who do you think is making it in the Big East? I have, of course, UConn, Marquette, Creighton. And then we got St. John's in. And I think that's it. I think 4 teams in the Big East. Providence and Seton Hall were close. Villanova kind of, they're out for sure. But, yeah, Seton Hall and Providence, it's possible. But I think with the bid steals, they're probably on the outside looking in. They're going to be in the NIT. Yeah, Stephen, the bracket does get released today in about 10 minutes at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to get the bracket. revealed. And I think we're actually not able to fill them out until like 7 or so. But that's okay because we won't get the full bracket till like 6:30, and we can chat about it, go over the matchups. It'll be pretty fun. We're gonna do a couple brackets on here. It's gonna be like, yo, my man Tricksters with a $2 donation. Do I think New Mexico makes it? Yeah, 100%. New Mexico is in the tournament. They won the Mountain West. They get the auto bid, and I think even if they lost that last game to San Diego State in the Mountain West Championship, they still would have got in. They did enough, but they get the auto bid. They're 100% in. I appreciate the donation, Tricksters. Lobos are dancing. UAB and Sanford are going to make a run. I could see it, man. Sanford, you guys know. I've been super high on the Sanford team. Every time I make a bracket, I have Sanford at least in the round of 32. And somebody who's a fan of some team is upset because they got upset. But Sanford's very, very dangerous. Look out for them as a Sweet 16 team. If they get a solid 13 to 12, if they get 12, 13 seed, which they should, that's where they'll be. If they get some good matchups, they can definitely make a run. Michigan State in or not? Right now I have them in. As you can see, my last 4 in, down here scrolling, my last 4 in, I have FAU, Michigan State, Texas A&M, and St. John's. And my first 4 out are Colorado, Virginia, Indiana State, and Seton Hall. Those are my predictions. What about Nebraska? Nebraska's, when they're hot, man, they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams. I really like teams like that. Nebraska, BYU, really good shooting teams, but they're streaky. When they're on, they're really, really on, and they can be very dangerous. But you're looking at a Nebraska team that's probably going to get like an 8 seed. If Nebraska can somehow pull off a 7 seed, then I think that they are more primed for a run. I just don't see Nebraska beating a 1 seed in the second round. Is Tennessee a 1 seed? I think no. I think they're probably going to give it to North Carolina, but Tennessee should be the top 2 seed. For sure. Who's making it from the Pac-12? I mean, Oregon's the auto bid, of course. So Oregon, Arizona will make it. Washington State will make it. And then Colorado's close, but I think 3 teams. I think Colorado is one of the first 4 out. Yo, what's up, B-Dog Rules? Of course I remember you. What's up? Welcome to the stream. What's up, AJ? What's up, Scott, the Rams fan? Who do you guys think's winning the Natty? Let me know down below in the chat. I'm between a couple of teams right now. I think I'm between, honestly, Houston and UConn, which is weird because that's the same 2 teams I was between last year. I decided to go with Houston for my main bracket. I had plenty of brackets with UConn as the champion as well. I decided to go with Houston. I think it's between those 2 teams again, but there you have some other teams like North Carolina, Purdue, Tennessee. Do we really trust Tennessee? Arizona, do we really trust Arizona? Let me know down below, guys. Michigan State and Oakland for Michigan schools. That would be, yeah. Oakland Grizzlies could pull off an upset. They've been a very, very hot team lately. A very, very hot team. Between Houston and UConn, same as me. I feel it. Yeah, I just feel like Houston and UConn are clearly the 2 best teams in the nation, but then Houston just got smacked by Iowa State. So I don't know, man. UConn definitely seems like the best all-around team. The only thing about Houston is I don't know if they have enough shooting, but their defense is just so elite, man. So elite. Their guards a lot remind me of like 2021 Baylor that won the national championship. But that Baylor team had shooting, especially in their front court. They had stretch 4s, and they had guards that could create their own shot. And Houston does have guards that can create their own shot, they're going to need Jamal Shed to be on. They're going to need LJ Cryer to be on, Emmanuel Sharp to be on. But then in the front court, they don't really have shooting. And that's kind of where I'm like, I try to hold back on Houston a little bit. I think that's going to be their downfall. I think the SEC gets 4 teams in: Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. They'll get more than that. I think, yeah, those 4: Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee. I think you get Mississippi State. I have Texas A&M in. Florida's getting in. That's 7 right there, and I think I might be missing one. So they're getting at least 7. I feel comfortable about all of those, except Texas A&M's a tweener. They're on my last 4 in. Texas A&M's a tweener, but I think they get 7. And I might be missing one. That's just off the top of my head. Would it be crazy to have Auburn in as a Final Four given the right matchups? No, I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, they have an awesome defense. They have guys that can get hot shooting. They have a great front court in Jalen Williams, Janai Baroom, and also Rogers has been giving them some good minutes. He's not necessarily in the front court, but he plays bigger than his size for sure. He posts up a lot. So they have a lot of offense down low for sure and an amazing defense. So I don't think it's crazy to have Auburn in the Final Four. The only thing is they need the right matchups, like you said, because I think their quad 1 record is like 2-8 or something like that, or like 2-7. So when they're going up against the best of the best quad 1 teams, they're not getting the job done. That's where I worry about Auburn. So I think they're going to be very, very good until they get to a Sweet 16 Elite 8 spot. And that's where, they're going to need the right matchup. Do I think Providence is in? No, I don't have Providence in, sadly, because I really like Providence. I love Big East basketball. Providence is the team that I support out of the Big East. And I had them in until a lot of these bid steals happened. I think they're out, man. I think they're out. I wish Providence would make it because Devin Carter, he would do some work. He would 100% do some work, man. 100%. Yo, Trickster's coming in here with another $2 donation. I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it big time. Man, doesn't it feel good to have March back? It really does, man. It is great to have March back. Games will be happening this Thursday, March Madness. Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Yeah, but I really do think let's ask the real questions. Okay, who's winning the NIT? I like this question a lot because I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the storyline of Memphis versus Kansas State in the NIT championship game. Naquan Tomlin's old team. That would be fire. That would be a very fun matchup. Kansas State versus Memphis NIT championship. Ohio State Final Four. Another $2 donation by my man Dave. I appreciate it, man. Can the Ivy League get 2 in? I don't think so. I don't think the Ivy League is strong enough. Princeton would be the at-large. Yale's getting in. They got the auto bid. What a comeback that was against Brown earlier. That had me stressing, man. That had me stressing because me and my fiance both had a parlay. And we needed, that was the first game of our parlay. It ended up hitting, but we had Yale money line. Very crazy ending, very fun game. But no, I don't think the Ivy League gets 2 bids in. Yo, what's up, Preston? What's up, Marcus Mariota? My man, what round do you think Purdue is going to? That's an interesting question. I think that is one of the more interesting questions, honestly, to think about in this tournament because Purdue could pull a 2019 Virginia, come back from losing to a 16 seed, and win the whole damn tournament. But I just don't know if I trust them. I don't like to trust the Big Ten. I don't think I could ever pick a Big Ten champion in my official bracket. I think Elite 8 is kind of where I'm at with them right now. I think they get to the Elite 8, and I think somebody takes them down. I think somebody takes them down in the Elite 8. Let me know, how far do you guys have Purdue going? That's a very interesting question because they choke a lot, But again, they're one of the top teams in the country again. It's very tough. It's very tough. What is my Final Four? Right now, I have to see the bracket. My most recent Final Four, it's definitely changed since then. I think I had, Kentucky, UConn, Houston, and Drake, which is a fun Final Four for sure. I always like to have a Cinderella in there, at least a 5 seed or higher as one of my Final Four teams. I don't usually like to have more than 2 1 seeds in the Final Four, and then I like to have somewhere in that 2 to 4 range. A team that's 2 to 4 seeded range in the Final Four. That's usually how I like to do it. But it is 6 o'clock. We are about to see the bracket revealed. I am about to turn my camera up a little bit, and we're going to watch this. I have it up on my TV, so if you guys wonder why I'm looking at Jesus, that's what I'm doing. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Who's the number 1 overall seed, guys? Who's the number 1 overall seed? UConn, Purdue, Houston. Here we go. East region. UConn. Number 1 overall seed is UConn. Okay, I agree with that. Houston didn't win their conference tournament. Purdue didn't win their conference tournament. UConn did. So I'm cool with that. UConn's the number 1 seed. Yo, what's up, basketball football guy? Purdue versus St. Peter's again would be amazing. Stetson gets the 16 seed. I like that. Stetson, they're not going to beat UConn, right? But they have a player on their team that got 40 points back-to-back games in their conference tournament. It was insane. So I like Stetson a lot. I wish they would have got a 15 seed, but it's just that wasn't going to happen. FAU, it's an 8 seed. That's insane. What? How is FAU get an 8 seed? I had them as a last 4 in, as a 10. I have them as one of my last 4 in. I'm happy they got in, but an 8 seed is outrageous. And Northwestern gets the 9. Who's winning that? FAU, Northwestern, guys. FAU or Northwestern? Bowie could do some damage. San Diego State gets a 5 seed. Okay. Versus UAB as a 12. That's a fun matchup. First 12-5. San Diego State versus UAB. I cannot believe FAU got an 8 seed. Considering they're in my last 4 in. 4 versus 13 seed. We got Auburn as our 4. Yale as our 13. That'll be a fun one. Too. Some great matchups already. Let's get it. BYU as a 6 seed. Okay. I thought that they were maybe going to get a 5, but they did lose their first game of the Big 12 tournament, so I can't honestly be too mad about that. Duquesne gets the 11 seed. Duquesne making their first tournament since 1979, something like that. Shout out to Duquesne, man. Illinois gets a 3 seed after just winning the Big Ten championship. Okay, who they got? First? The 3 seed for Illinois. They could make a run. Morehead State. Okay. That's another fun matchup. Morehead State versus Illinois. Illinois in trouble. Illinois in trouble. Washington State gets the 7. The East region is, The East region's looking pretty good. Washington State, BYU, Illinois. Who's the 2 seed in this region, guys? Who's the 2 seed in the East? Is it Iowa State? Is it Arizona? Tennessee? I say Tennessee or Iowa State gets this 2. And Drake gets the 10 seed. Iowa State gets the 2. So Washington State versus Drake. That is a lengthy, tall matchup, man. Lengthy, tall matchup. Iowa State gets the 2. And the 15 seed is South Dakota State. Okay. I like Iowa State in that matchup. I like Iowa State in that matchup a lot. I think they're safe as the 2 seed. I think they're safe as the 2 seed there. I don't think they're getting upset by South Dakota State. That's a good matchup for them. I was going to be, if Iowa State got a harder matchup, I might be a little scared for them. But East region is complete. What y'all think? Who's coming out the East? Who's coming out the East? UConn most likely, right? But Auburn, San Diego State is a strong 4-5. Auburn, San Diego State's a strong 4-5. Definitely is. Definitely is. Where do I see Florida? Probably a 6. Probably a 6 seed for Florida. Maybe a 7 because they lost today. Rip Illinois' hopes and dreams. Bro, you always got to watch out for those first-round Big Ten upsets. And Morehead State is capable. Morehead State's capable for sure. Next region. What do you guys think about UConn as the number 1 overall seed? I think I agree with that. FAU rigged it. I can't believe they got an 8 seed. That's absurd. I have them as a last 4 in. I had them in, but geez, an 8 seed, really? Iowa State or BYU coming out? You got the Big 12 coming out of that region? Okay. Next region. Oh, wait, never mind. Not yet. What am I watching on? I'm watching on CBS. CBS Sports channel. I agree. And then Houston. Yeah. Houston and Purdue will be the next 2 1 seeds. That last 1 seed should be North Carolina. UAB could be a dark horse. Yeah, I think so. You got to watch out for those teams that wouldn't get in, but then got in because they won their conference. You got to watch out for those teams. That's why I'm watching out for NC State. I'm watching out for Oregon. They're hot, especially NC State. They had to go through Duke, Virginia, and North Carolina. Come on, man. Come on. That is a tough task to do. That is a tough task. Iowa State losing to Drake in the second round. I might be with you on that. I'm very high on Drake, as you guys know. I'm very high on this Drake team. Big Brody down low. Yeah. Big Brody down low. And Tucker DeVries. Tucker DeVries is an absolute bucket. Shocked Duquesne got an 11. Yeah, honestly, I thought they were probably going to get a 12. But, yeah. Nah, Tucker DeVries is... If you don't know Tucker DeVries, go watch his highlights before making your bracket, because, yeah. We got commercial right now. It should be about over, and it's time to reveal the next region. FAU getting the same seed as they did last year. Facts, man. I didn't even really think about that for a second, but yeah, they were 8 seed last year. I cannot believe they got an 8 seed. DePaul snubbed, yeah. West Virginia is probably going to get snubbed, sadly. Louisville, all these teams. $122 people in the stream. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's get it. You hit a 3-leg today. UAB, Yale, Auburn. Yale had me sweating. That's actually like the same parlay that I had today, except I had Auburn minus 5.5 instead of their money line. What's up, Fighting Illini 23? Taryn Shannon looking good today. Big Ten champs. UConn Final Four? I think most likely. But it's a tough region. Very tough region. Next region, here we go. South region. That means Houston. Number 2 overall seed gets the second one. Seed. Who are they about to be playing? Come on now. We need a good region here. Some good upsets. Longwood energy. Come on. Longwood energy. You know how every team's got them energy shirts on? I need to get a Longwood University shirt that says Longwood Energy. That would be. Nebraska gets the 8 seed. Okay. That's why I was saying if Nebraska can somehow get the 7, I could see them making a run. I just don't see them beating Houston. Texas A&M gets a 9. Very interesting the way this committee is working right now, considering I had FAU and A&M as last 4 end teams, and they're both on the 8-9 line. What is going on? But okay. Wisconsin gets the 5. Okay. Wisconsin gets the 5 here. That's an easy 12 over 5. Big Ten as a 5 seed, easy upset pick. Don't even think about it. AJ Storr is phenomenal, though. James Madison is beating Wisconsin. 100% James Madison is beating Wisconsin. 100% the Dukes are beating Wisconsin. No doubt about it. Oh, my gosh. No doubt about it. What a matchup. Wisconsin knows. Look at the players. They're like, why do we have to play James Madison? Why? They are pissed. Wisconsin's pissed. They weren't even celebrating. They saw they had to face James Madison. They already lost. Duke versus Vermont in the 4-13 matchup. Who you guys got? Probably Duke. You know, Catamount's been to a lot of tourneys, though. Could be their time. Been to a lot of tournaments recently. Texas Tech gets the 6. I like that. NC State as the 11. Yeah, NC State could be dangerous. DJ Burns is going to murder Tech. DJ Burns is murdering Tech. Pop Isaac versus DJ. Oh, yeah. That's a good matchup. I'm happy NC State got in. I'm happy NC State got in. Kentucky gets the 3 seed. In the South region. Oakland. Okay. I don't like that matchup for Oakland. Oakland was a 14 seed. Like, they were on that 13 to 15 range. So I was like, they could get an upset, but I don't like that matchup with them against Kentucky. I don't like that matchup with them. I don't think Oakland has a shot. Florida has the 7. And then Boise State or Colorado. I like Florida. Their big men just did get a bad injury today. But honestly, I think I still like Florida. I don't know. I'm iffy on Colorado. Boise State should be higher than a 10, to be honest. Boise State should be an 8 or a 9. But dang. Boise State last 4 in. Exactly, man. That is crazy. Boise State last 4 in is kind of crazy. Marquette gets the 2 seed. Marquette gets the 2 seed. Don't sleep on Marquette, though. You know, they could be dangerous. Western Kentucky, a 15 seed. Out of the two so far, if I was to pick a 15 over seed, it would definitely be Western Kentucky over Marquette, but I probably don't see it. I mean, it's hard to pick those. Florida has good guard play. Yes, they have very good guard play and deep guard play. They have like 4 good guards. You're from the future, you don't make it. Hey, same here, man. My team ain't in either. Same here, brother. So we got our first 2 regions, Houston and UConn. Who do you guys think's coming out of that South region? Who do you guys think's coming out of that South region? I think I'm leaning, honestly, like either Kentucky, Houston, or a higher seed like Florida. Kentucky, Houston, or maybe like a Florida. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Big Red coming out, Western Kentucky. Go Northwestern. Oakland's going to be the new St. Peter's. NC State coming out. NC State coming out of that region. I could see it. I could see it for sure. Boise got screwed. I agree. I don't think that they should have been a 10 seed. You see Kentucky. I think Kentucky's going to be tough. If they're playing on, man, if they can play some decent defense, like they're going to be tough to beat. For sure. Yo, what's up, Mixtape? That region kind of sucks. I disagree. Tough draw for Florida. Can see them upsetting Marquette. I could see that for sure. Florida's tough. They don't have their big man that it's a great shot blocker there. That's going to be tough against Iguodaro. Kentucky will get a scare, but come down to Kentucky or Houston. That's kind of where I'm at. Probably Kentucky or Houston. Like I said, maybe a Florida, but thoughts on South Carolina? Good team ball. I mean, they seem pretty well coached the way they play. I don't know. If they get a 5 seed, though, I could definitely see them getting upset. Not going to lie. NC State wins that division. I'd like to see NC State Final Four would be awesome. NC State Final Four would be awesome. You need St. Peter's versus Purdue. We have a chance. We do have a chance because I think St. Peter's is for sure getting a 16 seed. They're either going against Purdue or North Carolina. It could be Purdue. I hope that we get a St. Peter's-Purdue first-round matchup. I really, really hope so. The East region is stacked. I will say they really don't want to see UConn back-to-back with that stacked region. Who did they have? Auburn and San Diego State as the 4-5s. They had Iowa State as the 2. Who was the 3 seed in that region? St. Peter's in a play-in game? Yeah, most likely. But if they win that play-in game, they'll hopefully get Purdue. That would be fire. Is Michigan State in, or did this first half mess it up? Michigan State is probably in. But we will see. I'm thinking, they might be the other last four in, maybe Michigan State versus St. John's, something like that. Rick Pitino versus Tom Izzo. The committee would love to do that. The committee would love to do that. Oh, Illinois was the 3 seed in the East. Yes, thank you guys. Yeah. Yeah, that is a tough region. That is a tough region for sure. Iowa State and Illinois got screwed. Why do you say that? They got a 2 and a 3 seed. I feel like that's pretty good. It looks like, I got a feel for Boise State. It looks like the committee might not be too happy about how good the Mountain West is. They might not value the Mountain West as much as, everybody else. All right, next region, we got the Midwest. It's Purdue. Purdue. Come on, please be St. Peter's. Please be St. Peter's. Peacocks. Peacock energy. Montana State versus Grambling State. Still fun. Grambling State made their first tournament ever. So I hope that they at least beat Montana State. But come on. We should have had St. Peter's there. So it's going to be St. Peter's versus North Carolina. Utah State as our 8 seed. Okay. I think Utah State deserved a 7. And versus TCU. Who you guys got winning that? I think, honestly, maybe Utah State. That might be a good matchup for them. That might be a good matchup for Utah State. Sigh of relief for Purdue fans. Facts. Gonzaga as a 5 seed is insane. Versus McNeese. That is an upset if I've ever seen one, because Gonzaga should not be a 5. Gonzaga is like a 7 seed. Oh my God, McNeese. McNeese is winning. Oh my God. Kansas has the 4 seed. Okay. McNeese got screwed. Though. And Samford has the 13. Okay. McNeese and Samford were like my 2 biggest Cinderellas. And they are in a bad spot. I think McNeese beats Zaga. Samford's really good, but I don't know if they can beat Kansas. That's a tough draw. South Carolina gets the 6 seed. I like them there rather than a 7, or rather than a 5, to be honest. Wow, man. Sanford, bad matchup. And then Oregon gets the 11. Who's winning that? That's a fun first round. South Carolina versus Oregon. Creighton as the 3 seed. Okay. I like Creighton's path to the Sweet 16 right now. But we got to see who they're facing in the first round. Akron. Akron's a tough 14 seed, but honestly, I do like Creighton's path to the Sweet 16. I think they can beat Akron. I think they can beat South Carolina and Oregon. Texas as a 7 seed. Okay. Max A. Smith back in the big dance. Versus either Virginia or Colorado State. Virginia made the tournament? What? The committee is selling. I don't think Virginia should be in. Well, they got Tennessee as the 2 seed. This seems like a weak lower half, and it might come down to Creighton versus Tennessee in the Sweet 16. I think this might be Creighton, Tennessee, Sweet 16. I just don't really like... Oh, St. Peter's gets a 15 seed against Tennessee. Okay. St. Peter's could do that. Tennessee chokes a lot, but I think it's going to come down to Tennessee and Creighton in the Sweet 16 out of that lower half. Someone must have paid for Virginia again. I don't know. I don't think Virginia should be in. Texas versus Tennessee coming out. Yeah. Rick Barnes Bowl. There's the first round upset. St. Peter's over Tennessee. I could see that. The committee needs to be fired, not gonna lie. I mean, this is outrageous, though. Like, I can't believe Virginia got in. Isaiah Stevens is going to torch them, hopefully, but then again, Virginia could make a run, so it's interesting. Yeah, Notre Dame beat Virginia by 20+. That'll tell you something. Virginia over Michigan State. Yeah, Michigan State's not in yet, but we got one more region. St. Mary's, Clemson, Nevada, New Mexico, all these teams looking to get in. Yeah. Max Asmus versus Isaiah Stevens. Woo! You're right. That would be an amazing point guard battle. You think Michigan State might be out? I don't know. It's looking like teams like Indiana State definitely out. Seton Hall, Providence probably out. And you're looking at like Colorado, Michigan State. I think Michigan State probably should get in over Colorado, but St. John's, I feel like St. John's should be in, man. Like I said, St. John's versus Michigan State, I feel like they might do a Rick Pitino, Tom Izzo, like last 4 in game at the 10 side. Last 4 innings. I think they might do Rick Pitino, Tom Izzo, 10 seed matchup to get in. Yep, last region coming up. Let's get it. Yeah, Colorado did make their championship game. I don't think Colorado should be in over St. John's or Michigan State, but we will see. We will definitely see. It's going to be 2 of those 3 teams, in my opinion, right? It's going to be between Colorado, Michigan State, and St. John's. 2 of those 3 teams probably get in. 1 of those teams probably getting left out. You're a Wisconsin fan. Your season is over. Sadly, I think James Madison is going to win that game. I definitely do. We got one more region, guys, and then we are going to start making some brackets. I think our first bracket, we are going to break down each of the matchups and try to figure out, just, look at the matchup, see what we got going on. Break them down. Calling it now Auburn-Yale. You think Yale is going to pull off that upset? Could be interesting. Yale's a good shooting team, and they also have a good center. But their center could struggle against that front court. Also definitely could. New Mexico going to get an 8-9. Hope they get a 7. I hope they get a 7 as well, because I'm pretty high on New Mexico. All right, last region. Let's get it. West region. North Carolina gets the 1 seed, as most of us thought they would get the final 1 seed. Then we got our 16 seed is Howard or Wagner. Wow. Heel, yeah. No way Yale beats Auburn. Honestly, I think Auburn just has such good defense. And like I mentioned earlier, they're one of those teams, they play really good against lower competition. When they get to play the harder teams, they lose. They're like 1-7 or something like that in quad 1. Mississippi State versus Michigan State in the 8-9. Wow. Okay. So Michigan State's in. They're in as a 9. Interesting. Mississippi State gets the 8 seed. I think that's valid. Michigan State, I thought probably should have been a 10, but I'm not too mad at them being a 9. St. Mary's gets the 5 seed. So St. Mary's and Gonzaga both get a 5. St. Mary's and Gonzaga both get a 5. And they will be going up against, who's our final 12 seed? Who's our final 12 seed? Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon. Okay, the 12 seeds are really good this year. I think we're seeing at least 2, maybe 3 12 over 5s. I think at least 2 12 over 5s are happening because there's 3 of the matchups that I like a lot for the 12s. St. Mary's is tough, but Grand Canyon could do it. Alabama gets the 4 seed. Okay. And Charleston gets the 13. Charleston gets the 13 there. Okay. What do you guys think about that? I kind of like, I'm not too big on Charleston, but they could pull off an upset. Clemson gets the 6. Clemson's a tough 6 seed. Clemson's a tough 6 seed to look out for. Yeah, Michigan State got the 9. And they'll be going up against New Mexico as the 11. I like New Mexico a lot here. The winner of the Clemson-New Mexico game is going to be dangerous. The winner of that New Mexico-Clemson game is going to be dangerous. Baylor versus Colgate is our 3 versus 14 seed matchup. Dayton gets a 7 seed at large. Dayton gets the 7 seed as an at large. And Nevada gets the 10 seed. Dayton versus Nevada. Whoo, Nevada's like, I think Nevada's winning that. And our final 2 seeds should be, Arizona. Arizona gets that final 2 seed. Well, how are we feeling about Arizona, guys? They're so, rangy. They could lose second round. They could make Final 4. How are we feeling about Arizona, guys? And they're going against Long Beach State. I don't think they're losing to Long Beach State, but who knows? New Mexico. I'm high on New Mexico, guys. I'm high on New Mexico. So we have our bracket is set. So who were the teams just left out? St. John's missed. Colorado missed. Zona going to lose to Nevada. I could see it. Nevada's definitely in contention for me as far as a team that could make a run. But St. John's out, Providence out, Indiana State out, Seton Hall out, St. John's out. Yeah, New Mexico is an 11. I think they should have got higher, man. I think they should have got higher. Yeah, I think New Mexico should have got higher, but I still think they're not in a bad spot. Like Baylor, I feel like is beatable for New Mexico. Clemson, that's a tough matchup, but I think they're beatable for New Mexico. And they could go up against a team like a Nevada or Dayton in the Sweet 16. I think one of these Mountain West teams could come out of this region, Nevada or New Mexico. 100% they could. 100% they could. So we got 8 Big 12, 8 SEC, 6 Big 10, 6 Mountain West, 5 ACC, 4 Pac-12. Last 4 in was Boise, Colorado. Oh, Colorado did make the tournament. Okay, I missed that. Virginia, Colorado State. And then our first 4 out, Oklahoma didn't make the tourney. Oklahoma didn't make the tourney. Is insane. James Madison did get a great draw. James Madison did get a great draw. The committee hates the Mountain West. They gave them horrible matchups, but I think Nevada and New Mexico are primed for a run. One of those teams is primed for a run. Yeah, Pitt is trash. No, Pitt definitely shouldn't be in. I don't think Virginia should be in either, though. But yeah, Pitt definitely should not be in. Who's the biggest snub, though, guys? I think Oklahoma got snubbed pretty bad. I think Oklahoma should have made the tournament. St. John's. Oklahoma and St. John's were my biggest snubs. I can't believe St. John's wasn't even one of the last 4 that didn't make it, or the first 4 out. St. John's wasn't even first 4 out. I think Oklahoma and St. John's should have made the tournament, man. Virginia shouldn't have, and Colorado shouldn't have, in my opinion. That's who I would have replaced them with. But yeah, guys, we are about to make some brackets here soon as we are able to. We might not be able to until 7. I'm not really sure exactly when we are able to, but as soon as we are able to, we're going to make our first bracket, and we are going to break down a lot of these matchups for you guys, Our official bracket, I will be making tonight, recording it tonight. It will be posted tomorrow. And so make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new to the stream. We're about to make some brackets here on stream. We're not done yet. But tomorrow will be the official bracket up as a video on the channel. So subscribe if you guys aren't already. Be on the lookout for that. My man Tricksters with another $2 donation. I appreciate you, my man. He says, I'm a New Mexico fan, and your brother is a Clemson fan. Wow. What a combination across the country, too. But, yeah, that's going to be fun, get to see them match up against each other. Awesome, man. I appreciate another $2 donation. I appreciate it a ton, man. Virginia has given some really great upsets in the past. Maybe the committee wanted to thank them for destroying so many brackets. Could be, man. I mean, they really had to make sure they got Virginia in there, apparently. I don't think they should have got in. Houston got a terrible draw with Duke and Marquette. Yeah, I don't really love Houston's draw. there were some teams that really got screwed. I feel like teams that I liked to go far, but yeah, St. John's wasn't even first four out. Wow, yeah, that's what I was saying, man. And St. John's was my biggest snub. Them or Oklahoma, I feel like should have been in. But either way, we got a pretty good bracket. And to be honest, I didn't really expect Oklahoma to go far if they did make the tourney. But St. John's is a team that I feel like could have went far. They could have pulled off some upsets. How is Utah State an 8? Yeah, I think Utah State should have got a 7, maybe even a 6. A lot of the Mountain West teams got undervalued. Like the Mountain West champions, an 11 seed. I don't know. New Mexico should have got at least an 8-9. New Mexico should have got an 8-9. Utah State should have got a 6 or a 7. Boise State should have got an 8-9, not a 10. What did Nevada get? Nevada got a 10. What can you do? They don't like the Mountain West, man. Yeah, I'm surprised Oklahoma didn't get in. Oregon or South Carolina, that's one of the better first-round matchups that could go either way. I don't know at this point right now. I don't know. That is such a good matchup, though. Who you guys got winning that 6? What is it? 6 versus what's it called? 6 versus 11 seed matchup. Who do you guys got in that South Carolina or Oregon? South Carolina over Oregon. You got UConn all the way, back-to-back this year. Creighton winning it all. Thoughts on McNeese State, Gonzaga? I feel like it's going to – I think I like McNeese State a lot in that first round. Duke in the second round could be tough. Duke in the second round for McNeese could be tough. But I do like McNeese over Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga is very overrated as a 5 seed. I think they should have been like a 7 seed. I think they should have got a 7 seed. You're picking James Madison. Yeah, James Madison over Wisconsin, guys. The Big Ten teams are always choking in the tournament. And James Madison might be the best, most talented 12 seed out there. I really like the draw for the Dukes. I really like the draw for James Madison. I'm definitely 80% sure I'm picking James Madison over Wisconsin in my bracket, and about 85% sure I'm picking McNeese over Gonzaga. Let me go ahead and check and see if I can make a bracket yet or not. If so, we will get started on that. Let's see here. I don't think we are able to just yet. I think around like 7. Yeah, it says 15 minutes we can start making a bracket on ESPN Tournament Challenge. Oh, yeah, guys, that's right. If you guys have not joined yet, we do have an ESPN Tournament Challenge group. We got over 100 people in there already. You guys can join it. The winner is going to get a gift card of their choice, any type of gift card. And, yeah, so if you get first place in my tournament bracket group, you'll get a gift card of your choice. So, yeah, make sure you guys join that. The group name is Dannyology on ESPN Tournament Challenge app. I can leave you guys a link in the chat if you guys want me to. I'll go and do that, actually. Or you can just go and search Dannyology in the groups on the app. Yeah, we got 128 people in there so far. Let's go. I'll go ahead and post that in the chat. If you guys aren't in already and you guys want to join, you can join on that link right there. How is Oklahoma not in? I'm not sure, man. I thought Oklahoma should have been in, but yeah, I'm not sure how. How far is Drake going? I could see Drake going pretty far, to be honest. I like Drake as one of my biggest sleepers, and I honestly think they got a pretty decent draw. So, Yeah, I think Drake could go pretty far. Honestly, in my last bracket predictions, I had him in the Final Four. Are they going to go that far? Probably not, right? Probably not, but they could. They could. Let's see if on some of the other websites I can make a bracket yet or not, or at least just look at the bracket. Official bracket. So I can look at all the matchups like up close. Yes, I can. Okay. I'll go ahead and share screen with you guys. All right. So here is our official bracket. We got UConn, Stetson, FAU, Northwestern, San Diego State versus UAB, Auburn, Yale, BYU, Duquesne, Illinois, Morehead State, Washington State, Drake, and Iowa State, South Dakota State. So I honestly like San Diego State and Auburn to come out. I don't really like UAB or Yale to pull off an upset. If I think my least likely 12 over 5 right now is UAB over San Diego State. But crazier things have happened, for sure. FAU Northwestern is an interesting matchup. Definitely an interesting matchup because I just honestly, I don't really trust a lot of Big Ten teams. I would probably lean FAU because I feel like FAU versus UConn, both teams made the Final Four last year. That's a good storyline right there. And I like to think about it like that because what makes good sense, like as far as storylines, what's going to make this March Madness great? I feel like if you think about it that way, along with like how teams play, how they match up, how the players match up, who's the coach? Has the coach had success in March Madness before? Has the coach choked in March Madness before? All these things, along with the storylines, are how you can try to fill out and try to get as close as a perfect bracket as possible. I definitely want to pick upsets because upsets are 100% going to happen. But let's talk about some of these upsets that I do like. I like Drake over Washington State. I think so. Washington State's tough, but I think I like Drake there. Iowa State, I like them. Morehead State could upset Illinois. I'd probably go Illinois for that first round, though. But yeah, what do you guys think about that first matchup? I am going to pull up the chat here on my phone because I can't see it anymore with this up. And read it off. FAU should win. You feel like Texas could go deep? I feel like Texas could possibly go deep. I mean, they have a good backcourt. We know backcourt, if you got a good veteran backcourt like Max Asmus and Tyrese Hunter, you could definitely go far. And Dylan Dessou is a phenomenal player as well. So they just stacked up the East. The East is pretty stacked. I don't see a lot of upsets happening in the East, right? I don't see a lot of upsets. I see Drake over Washington State. And honestly, I don't know if I see many other upsets than that in the first round of the East. Let's talk about the South. We got Houston, Longwood, Nebraska A&M. Nebraska A&M, who do you guys got winning that, man? You can't believe Michigan State got in. I kind of knew Michigan State was going to get in, to be honest. I figured they would. BYU is going all the way low-key. Out of the East is crazy. I mean, I could see BYU possibly making it to the Elite Eight, but if they had to go up against UConn, I don't know. If they had to go up against San Diego State or Auburn, maybe to the Final Four, but they'd need the right draws for sure. A&M over Nebraska. Honestly, Seth, I do not know how Virginia got in the tournament. Insanity. Tomaninga wheels the Huskers go to the Final Four. Tomaninga is insane. He was shooting shots in the Big Ten tournament from his chest, just flipping them up. Deep threes, NBA range threes, and sinking them. They were really calling that man the Japanese Steph Curry, which is insane. But yeah, he's a beast, man. He's insane. McNeese or Gonzaga? I like McNeese a lot in that matchup. I like McNeese. That's my favorite 12/5. I also like James Madison over Wisconsin. And to be honest, I don't hate Grand Canyon over St. Mary's either. Creighton all the way. I think I do like Creighton's draw. Let's take a look at this lower region here. So we got Creighton, and I honestly do like their draw to the Sweet 16 for sure. And I like Tennessee's draw. I think it's going to come down to Tennessee or Texas. I might like a Creighton-Texas Sweet 16 matchup. A Creighton-Texas Sweet 16 matchup would be fun. And then I think Creighton probably wins that. I hate the draw for Samford. Man. Because I like this team a lot. I think they could make a run, but do we really think that they could beat Kansas? I don't know. I really don't know. Can St. Peter's go on another run? I don't think St. Peter's beats Tennessee. I mean, Dalton Knecht is just a bucket. And this Tennessee team has a lot of veteran players, and then they added Dalton Knecht to that. And this Tennessee team did make the Sweet 16 last year. Yes, they have choked a lot, and technically they did choke last year to FAU when they were going on their run, but it was in the Sweet 16. So you take a Sweet 16 team, add a Dalton Knecht, that could be scary. I would love to see a Tennessee-Creighton matchup. How fun would Dalton Knecht versus Baylor Shireman be in the Sweet 16? That would be an awesome Sweet 16 matchup between those small forwards. Any 13/4s? That's a good question. I don't know for sure. We're probably going to see one. I really like Samford. I just don't know if they can beat Kansas. College of Charleston, South Carolina versus Alabama could happen. I'm not particularly high on Alabama going far, but I feel like Alabama will win that match. Then we got Oakland versus Kentucky. I don't see Kentucky losing first round. It would be very fun to see Oakland run. I think that Oakland in the tournament is a lot of fun. I did like Oakland to potentially get an upset. I just don't like the matchup against Kentucky. And then we do have Morehead State over Illinois. If I had to pick any 14/3, I'm going to trust my gut and say Samford over Kansas. And I know Kansas rested their players. They rested Kevin McCullar. They rested Hunter Dickinson. But they don't have a lot of depth. And that's scary against a team like Samford because Samford presses the entire game and they go fast pace and they do have a lot of depth. So if Kansas gets into foul trouble, if they could just get tired, man. If I had to pick any 14/3 or a 13/4, my bad, I would probably pick Samford. And maybe Morehead State over Illinois has a chance. Those would probably be my top ones. But one of them is probably going to happen. And in some of my brackets, I'm definitely picking Samford. And we're already previewing Tennessee versus St. Peter's. Did not mean to do that. 5 minutes, and we can go ahead and fill out a bracket on ESPN Tournament Challenge. If you guys haven't seen yet, if you guys have not joined yet, you guys can join my tournament group. The winner is going to get a gift card of their choice to anywhere. It can be, whatever, Amazon, PlayStation, Xbox, anything. You just let me know. And yeah. How far can Wisconsin go? I got them losing first round to James Madison. If they get past them, I honestly don't feel like they can beat Duke. They could. I mean, AJ Storr is such a beast, man. You got Steven Crow down low, Tyler Wall down low. You got Chucky, who's a veteran. They got some solid players. I don't trust the Big Ten personally. And James Madison is one of the better 12 seeds. So that's kind of where I'm at with Wisconsin right now. To be honest, I feel like their ceiling is losing to Houston in the Sweet 16. That's their ceiling. That's their ceiling, in my opinion. In my opinion. Do you think NC State keeps the momentum going? I think they are. I think they are, because that road in the ACC that they had was insane. To beat Duke, Virginia, and North Carolina 3 games in a row to get the bid steal. Teams like that usually go on a run. And I think they might win at least a game or two. DJ Burns is going to be one of those players that America just loves. Like, if you're one of those people that don't start watching college basketball until March Madness, you're going to watch NC State and be like, this DJ Burns guy is so fun to watch because he's kind of heavier set. He's a center, but his post moves are majestic. He has amazing footwork, and he's just super fun to watch. If you guys haven't seen DJ Burns, just, yeah, be ready for him on NC State. Be ready for him. Houston is losing first round to Longwood. No. Houston's not going to lose to Longwood. Houston's not going to lose to a team until the Sweet 16, at least, in my opinion. Houston's one of those teams. They're very disciplined. They're very good on defense. They're the number 1 defense in the entire country according to net rankings. And if you watch them, you can 100% know why. I mean, like, they're just not one of those teams that's going to get upset just with the defense that they play, because defense will travel to the tournament. It's teams that rely on offense, rely on shooting, that you got to watch out for, because if they have a cold night, you don't usually have a cold night on defense, but if you have a cold night on offense, that's where you can be in trouble. That's where you can be in trouble. We are 2 minutes away from being able to fill out a bracket. Actually, 1 minute and 16 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. So we are going to preview the bracket here in just like 2 minutes, guys. We're going to preview every matchup, make our first couple of brackets. Our official bracket's going to be uploaded as a video tomorrow. Be on the lookout for it. Subscribe if you guys are not or have not already. Let's go, guys. We got ourselves a really good tournament bracket. A lot of teams I feel like kind of got screwed, but as far as like their seeding, but either way, they made it to the dance. Let's see what they can do with it. Terrence Shannon Jr. will play himself in March Madness Legacy, honestly. Yeah, I think he could. I mean, this is a guy that is capable. We have multiple players this year who are capable of dropping 40 points in a game. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure. Terrence Shannon Jr. definitely one of those players. Tennessee losing to St. Peter's would be so fun to see. I don't see it happening. I think Tennessee's. I feel like Tennessee, Texas in the second round makes a lot of sense right now. Texas could for sure beat Tennessee though, and Creighton for sure can beat either of those teams. I would love to see a Dalton Connett, Baylor Shireman Sweet 16 matchup, Creighton and Tennessee. That would be very fun. Very, very fun. Can we make a bracket now? Yes, we can. Let's go. Make sure you guys join the group if you guys have not already. We are about to make our first picks of the year. We're going to break down all the matchups, figure out who we want to go with. Let's go. We have our bracket here on ESPN Tournament Challenge. Let's preview all these matchups. Let's see what they have to say. Some of the better players on each of these matchups. Stetson is a great team. And this guy right here, Jalen Blackman, was that guy I was talking about earlier who was dropping 40 in the conference tournament games, got his average up above 20 points per game, and just playing like a beast. But do they realistically have a shot at UConn? I just really don't think so. You got Tristan Newton, Cam Spencer, you got Stephon Castle, the freshman, you got Alex Caravan, you got Donovan Clingan, you got so many good players on this UConn team and veteran players. I really don't see Stetson winning that game at all. Give me UConn in that matchup. Now we got an 8-9 matchup between either FAU or Northwestern. That's a lot closer of a game, 100%. Let's preview that, see what they have to say. John L. Davis and Boo Buie, as expected, up here. Does it show like... Okay, so it shows some notable results. Number 9 seeds have won 13 of 20 meetings with 8 seeds in the past 5 tournaments. So 9 seeds have been winning these games as of late. It seems like FAU definitely the better offensive team here, averaging almost 10 points more per game than Northwestern. Whereas Northwestern, as you can see, their margin there is only 4.7 points. So they play in a lot of close games. And according to the BPI, FAU just slightly higher as well. So can Northwestern slow down this FAU team? I think they could for sure. I mean, Northwestern have shown that against teams that have a good center like Vlad Golden, against teams like Purdue with Zach Edey, they have shown that they can honestly compete and beat Purdue. They beat Purdue once this year. They went to overtime with Purdue when they were in Mackey. Northwestern is a very solid team, and Boo Buie is one of those players that could go off. I just feel like FAU has the deeper team and the more experienced team here. And I feel like for storylines, like they want to see UConn FAU in the second round. That is a great storyline. 2 teams that made the Final Four last year going up against each other in the round of 32. And yeah, I got FAU winning that first matchup. San Diego State versus UAB. 12/5. Possible here for sure. Eric Gaines, an athletic guard on UAB. Jaden Ledee has been maybe the most improved player in all of college basketball this year, averaging over 20 points per game this year. A defensive beast. This entire San Diego State team full of defensive players. Reese Waters, Darren Trammell. So many good players. And this is the 12/5 that I just don't really see happening. The other 3 I think are not only possible, but I'm really, really thinking about picking. We will go ahead and look at some of the advanced stats here. UAB, the better offensive team, but you can see San Diego State's defense is smothering. Opponents' point per game, only 66 points per game. BPI rank, a big difference there. San Diego State at 34, UAB at 119. They weren't going to make the tournament unless they won the American tournament. And I just like San Diego State a lot here in this matchup. Then we got Auburn versus Yale. I seen a couple of people in the chat earlier saying that Yale is going to win this game. I don't necessarily see it. You got Danny on Yale, Danny Wolf, a really good center. I think he's only a sophomore too, but he's going against that front court like Jalen Williams and Janai Broome. You got Rogers down low for Auburn as well, who's like an undersized player who plays in the post. I just feel like, and I was watching Yale today against Brown. They could not get rebounds at all. They could not get rebounds, and that was against Brown. Auburn is going to be getting boards and probably some offensive boards. I just don't know. I don't think Yale can keep up with Auburn's pace. I really hate this matchup for Yale, like a lot. They lost to Gonzaga by 15. They lost to Vermont, who is a lower seed, or is a seed lower than them. No, they're both 13 seeds actually. They lost to Kansas by 15. They beat Princeton. They beat Cornell, lost to Princeton, lost to Cornell, and beat Cornell again. So, yeah, they lost to Gonzaga by, I feel like a similar matchup, but Auburn has better offensive firepower than Gonzaga even. I just don't like any of those upsets right there. Give me Auburn. BYU versus Duquesne is interesting. I'm surprised Duquesne got an 11 seed. I figured that they would probably be a 12 or a 13, to be honest. It's amazing to me that Duquesne gets an 11 over like a James Madison, or like James Madison, probably. Who are other 12s? McNeese and Grand Canyon probably deserved the 11 seed instead of Duquesne. Like, why is Duquesne an 11 seed? I don't know. I don't know. But nonetheless, they do have Day. They do have some really good freshmen on this team as well, as I was watching today. But they're another team. I know VCU's defense is really good. Don't get me wrong. I do know that. But Duquesne just did not look that great today. And I don't feel like they are primed for a run or even to beat BYU. BYU, I like them a lot. As you can see, 81 points per game. They're a really good three-point shooting team. I think they have 4 or 5 players that shoot over 40% from three-point range on their team. And Jackson Robinson is a 6-man. This guy is their leading scorer, and he comes off the bench. I mentioned they have 4 or 5 players that shoot over 40% from three, but they also have like 4 or 5 players that average at least 9 points per game. They share the rock. They shoot the ball well. I just don't like that matchup for Duquesne at all. I don't think that they're that good of a team. I like BYU here in this matchup a lot. Illinois versus Morehead State. This is one that I am considering for maybe at least one of my brackets. I mean, Morehead State is not a bad team at all. I just feel like Illinois has been a team that has been able to come back and win a lot of these games recently. They did against Nebraska. They were down at points today against Wisconsin, and they were able to come back. Terrence Shannon Jr. is just a stud, man, and he is one of those players who's capable of dropping 30 any night, and it'll be a good matchup. I don't like to trust the Big Ten a lot. If there is going to be a big-time upset in this region, I feel like this is going to be the one. 14 over 3, Morehead State over Illinois. If there is going to be one in this region, I feel like this could be it, at least for the first round games. But they lost by 30 to Alabama, lost by 30 to Purdue, lost by 20 to Penn State. I mean, that right there. That's another Big Ten team that you can kind of compare and be like, Penn State's not even that great. And yeah, I got to go with Illinois. Even though I could see it, I got to go with Illinois. And Illinois versus BYU is a very fun second-round matchup. Then we got Drake versus Washington State. And I haven't picked an upset in this region yet. I just feel like the East is so stacked. There will be upsets coming. Trust me, there will be upsets coming. But Drake versus Washington State, this is probably the upset I'm going to pick in this region. I like Drake a lot. Tecker DeVries, the coach's son, such a stud, man. He is a beast. But Washington State has a lot of long defenders. They're like, I think they're the tallest team in the country. Like, their point guard's 6'3". They're tall. But Drake is not short. They have a big center in Brody down low that I like a lot. They got a 20-point win over Nevada this year. They beat Indiana State, of course. Swept Bradley, a good team. That Nevada win on the road, too, kind of shows you they're impressive. I like Drake a lot here in this one. I worry about Washington's length on defense, but I don't feel like Washington State, even with their length, they're that well coached defensively. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess they do hold their opponents to 66 points per game. That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Drake because I'm pretty high on the Bulldogs. Then we got Iowa State versus South Dakota State. This is another upset I don't really see happening. If there were to be a 15/2, I would probably go maybe St. Peter's over Tennessee, maybe Western Kentucky over Marquette, one of those. Iowa State's been playing really good. Kashawn Gilbert, Taman Lipsey, Rob Jones. You got the freshman Milan, who is a beast of a player. He plays like Dirk Nowitzki. And yeah, I just like this Iowa State team a lot. South Dakota State, I don't see them getting a win. They lost to Akron. They lost to Kansas State pretty bad. I mean, they lost to Weber State. They have a 1-point win over St. Thomas, Minnesota. Like, I just, come on. I got Iowa State. Let's go ahead and go to the South region. We got Longwood Energy going up against Houston. And Longwood just doesn't have that good of scores anyway. Like a top scorer either. And Houston is already such a good defensive team. I just feel like Houston is going to smother them, and it is not going to be good. 57 points per game for opponent point per game. When I told you guys Houston is the best defense in the country, I was not playing. And they are also BPI ranked number 1 to 140. I just don't see this happening at all. Houston is going to win this game. I don't see Houston losing really early. Texas A&M or Nebraska on a very, very good night could do it. Nebraska has Tominga. Texas A&M's got Wade Taylor. Could beat Houston, but I don't see Houston losing first round. Let's get into that matchup, though. Nebraska, Texas A&M, because it is a good one. I mean, this dude, Tominga, has been going crazy in the Big Ten tournament and shooting lights out. He is the guy that I could see just going on a run, a guy that people will really like. And we've seen Texas A&M, and this is what I like to make my picks go on a lot sometimes, especially in an 8-9 close matchup like this. What did Texas A&M do last year when they were a 7 seed, had a 10-seeded Jalen Pickett-led Penn State team? That was also a 50-50 matchup that a lot of people were excited about. And they choked. They got blown out. I think a similar thing happens here. I don't trust Buzz Williams in March. And even though Nebraska hasn't been here for a while, so it's hard to tell how they're going to do, I believe they have the shooters, the offense, capable of winning this first-round matchup. I am going to go with Nebraska here to win first round. Next up, we got Wisconsin versus James Madison. I already said it. We saw during the reveal, Wisconsin looked scared. As soon as they seen James Madison was a team that they had to go up against, I mean, they looked petrified. But AJ Storr is a beast. Stephen Crow, Tyler Wall down low, beast. Chucky, a good veteran player on this Wisconsin team that will be playing hard in March Madness. But this James Madison team got a good draw. I think that they are one of the better 12s. We are picking this 12/5. I don't like to trust Big Ten teams a lot in March Madness, and I already picked Illinois and Nebraska to win first round. Some Big Ten teams are going to choke. They're going to lose early. And I like James Madison a lot. Give me the Dukes to move on in this 12/5. We got Duke and Vermont, The Catamounts had made, probably 3 of the last 4 tournaments, something like that. They've been getting here, winning their league, but they get to go up against Duke. Jeremy Roach, veteran point guard. Kyle Filipowski, an amazing forward. You got Tyrese Proctor. You got Jared McCain. So many good scorers. But this Vermont team plays they're a good team. They play good as a team. But then they lost to teams like Liberty. They lost to Bradley by 9 points. They beat Yale by 1. Lost to Colgate by 6. Lost to Virginia Tech by 22. I just really don't, and that's another ACC team that you can kind of compare that to, right? I just don't think I can trust a team where their best win is versus Yale by 1 point to beat this year's Duke team. I think Duke is going to win first round. Duke versus James Madison. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense right there. Then we got Texas Tech versus NC State. Big DJ Burns. Big DJ Burns in March Madness. Woo-hoo-hoo. Pop Isaacs versus DJ Horn. Oh my goodness. I am so happy NC State made the tournament. I talked about DJ Burns and how he could be a player that just America falls in love with. But Pop Isaacs is one of those players that could just shoot lights out, man. And he could also be a player that could take over a game. I just feel like this NC State team is hot right now. And I really like Joe Toussaint. I am a West Virginia fan. He used to be on our team. But I got to admit, as much as I love him and love to watch him play as an energy player, as a defender, he can be an energy guy to get you a bucket when you need it as well. I just feel like he can turn the ball over as well. He is turnover prone. And I'm going to go with NC State to keep up the momentum after winning the ACC tournament and beating Texas Tech here in this one. Kentucky versus Oakland. Another really fun matchup here. Also, almost 300 people in the stream. Make sure you guys drop a like. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys have not already. We're going to have our official bracket as a video uploaded tomorrow morning. Be on the lookout for that. We're going to have a ton of March Madness content all week this week. Subscribe. Let's go. Let's get into this matchup because Kentucky is one of the better offensive teams in the country. Oakland, are they going to be able to keep up? I think they will be able to score. They have some scorers on their team. Kentucky's defense is not the best, right? But I don't know if Oakland is going to be able to keep up. I don't know if Oakland has been able to keep up. I think we might see a 14/3 this year. I just don't know if this is going to be the one. See, you see their defense, they give up 80 points per game pretty much. Kentucky does, but they score almost 90. Whereas Oakland does give up 72, which isn't particularly low. I just feel like Oakland's defense, especially with the competition they're going up against, giving up 72 points per game, they're going to give up a lot of points to Kentucky. Kentucky might drop 100 in this one. And as much as I did like Oakland as a potential upset pick, I just don't like the matchup. I don't like the matchup here. We can't preview this one. We do have Boise or Colorado going up against Florida. I think Boise got a tough matchup, a tough draw here as a 10 seed. I don't think they should have been one of the last teams in. Colorado could do damage too. I think I like Florida's depth and Florida's guards here to get past the first round, though. So I am going to go with the Gators here to move on and get past either Boise or Colorado in this one. Then we do have Marquette versus Western Kentucky. This is one of those ones where I was like, if I was to pick a 15/2, this could be the one. But Tyler Kolek should be back. Cam Jones has been going crazy lately. you got Stevie Mitchell, you got Ross, you got Iguodaro down low. Marquette's got some hoopers, man, and they have some good wins. They lost 3 times to UConn. Was never able to beat UConn this year. Let's look at the Big Reds. Best notable games. Lost to Liberty, but beat Liberty. Beat Wright State, Murray State. Like, lost to Wichita State by 10. I just don't see them being able to beat Marquette. Not this time. No, I just don't see it happening. Give me Marquette here. But that Florida-Marquette matchup in the second round is very interesting. For sure. Next up, we do have our West region, North Carolina versus either Howard or Wagner. Wow. I don't see any of those teams being able to beat North Carolina in the first round. Give me North Carolina that one. But a very interesting Mississippi State-Michigan State matchup because I do like Mississippi State a lot. Josh Hubbard is a beast of a point guard for Mississippi State who has been turning up lately. And he's going to have to go up against Tyson Walker. Oh my God. I just know whoever wins this game could go on a run and could beat North Carolina in the second round. Josh Hubbard has been a clutch player. Tyson Walker is a clutch player. Tolu Smith down low could have an advantage. And we talk about Tom Izzo and March, but Chris Jans is not a bad coach either. He's not a coach who is just going to choke. So this is maybe one of my favorite first-round matchups and one of my favorite 50-50 matchups. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. 353 viewers in here. Let's get it. We're going to make some brackets tonight. Main brackets being uploaded tomorrow. If you guys are not already subscribe to the channel. We just hit 5K. Trying to grow into one of the bigger, maybe the biggest college basketball YouTube channel on the platform. So let's get it. Subscribe if you guys are new. But what a matchup, man. Josh Hubbard, Tyson Walker. It's going to come down to the last possession. Who's going to be more clutch, Josh Hubbard or Tyson Walker? And wow. Wow. I've already picked 2 of the 8 seeds to win. I think I almost have to pick the 9 seed here. Especially because their stats are very similar too. Like, look, they're both getting around 73, 74 points per game. They're both giving up around the same amount on defense. I really do like Mississippi State, though. I just feel like Michigan State is probably going to win because... But Tom... This is tough, guys. This is tough. I'm going to go Michigan State to win, but I don't like it a lot. I feel like Josh Hubbard is a super underrated player. I really do, but I am going to pick Michigan State. St. Mary's versus Gonzaga, another 12/5 that I'm really considering. Ty Grant Foster is an NBA player, a future NBA player. He is a beast. Formerly played for Kansas and DePaul. Ray Harrison is another good point guard on their team as well. This St. Mary's team, we all know how St. Mary's plays, guys. They are going to play their brand of basketball, play it slow, and if they can get you in a slow pace, get some defensive stops, they will be able to win. I just don't know if I trust them a lot. Grand Canyon got a win over another 5 seed this year in San Diego State already. I kind of like the Antelopes here. Man. And I already picked one 12/5, and honestly, I really do like the other 12/5 matchup that I have too. I'm going to go with St. Mary's to pull off a close one because I could see like Ray Harrison and Ty Grant Foster. If they are not on, St. Mary's will win this game. They will play their brand of basketball and get by, and they could get by easily. It is possible. Don't want to make any spoilers to this bracket, but I do like the other 12/5 as well, and I already took James Madison over Wisconsin. So do I really want 3 12/5s? I'd love to see it happen, But I think 2 is kind of where I'm sitting at right now as where I want to go. Next up, we got Alabama versus Charleston. Let's preview this one because it's a good matchup. Charleston made the tournament last year. A lot of people were very, very high on them. They were unable to get it done. But this year, they come back to the tournament. Less people were talking about them. Could they be able, or could they get it done this time? Could they get it done this time? I think it's possible. I think it is possible. They got wins over Liberty. They lost to FAU by 16. And that's actually kind of telling for me because FAU and Alabama are kind of similar as far as like they are great offensive teams, not the best defensive teams. And if they lost to FAU, I feel like they're going to lose to Bama in similar fashion. I just don't trust Charleston here. Give me Alabama to move on. Clemson versus New Mexico. This is the big one. This is the big one that I really, really wanted to talk about. I mean, wow. Both of these teams are a potential Cinderella. I mean, if you want to call a 6 seed a Cinderella. Not really, but wow. Like, both these teams have potential to go far. It's basically what I'm trying to say. New Mexico, you got Jamal Mashburn, Jalen House, so many good guards. You got JT Toppin down low. PJ Hall versus JT Toppin is the key matchup, in my opinion. They also have the freshman point guard on New Mexico. Oh my gosh. I just feel like I like New Mexico. I like New Mexico a lot, man. I really, really do. I think that they have Final Four upside. Given the right matchups, I think New Mexico has Final Four upside. They're giving up less points per game. They're getting more points per game. It could be a close game, but I'm going to go with New Mexico here to get this win. Then we got Baylor versus Colgate, the toothpaste, another team like we talked about Vermont earlier, a team that has been consistently making the tournament. They've been consistently winning the Patriot League, making it into March. But they are never able to get it done. They were close one year and another 14-3 versus Wisconsin one year. I think, was that last year or the year before? I think the year before, the year that they had Johnny Davis. But this is another one. Baylor, Jacoby Walter, Ray J. Dennis. You got some solid players, some solid guards on this Baylor team. And
sorry,
what do you need?
But we're going to McDonald's.
I don't want anything. No.
Okay, well, Mom told me to ask you.
Sorry about that. Jacoby Walter. We got Ray J. Dennis. Some solid guards play. I just worry about, I think Baylor could win. Or I think Baylor could get upset if they get a matchup where they have a good front court. If you get a team that has a good front court, Baylor could lose. And that's kind of been their weak spot for a couple of years now, ever since they won the championship. They had a weak spot where they could lose to a team that has a good front court. I just don't think Colgate is it. So I got Baylor winning this one. Next up, we do have Dayton versus Nevada. And this is a very fun matchup. This is actually one of my favorite matchups here to preview here because this one could go either way. Both of these mid-major teams could make a run and actually were some of my favorite teams to potentially make a run before this bracket got revealed. And I just, wow, what a matchup. I mean, this is clearly, to me, as you can see based on the players, Jared Lucas, Keenan Blackshear, Nevada has the advantage when it comes to guard play. Dayton, Darren Holmes, Nate Santos have the advantage when it comes to front court play. Who? It's going to come down to it could be either way, man. It could be either way. I really like Nevada, but something tells me Darren Holmes could just go crazy in this game. I'm going to go with Dayton. Even though I feel like Nevada or New Mexico, one of these teams is going to make a run out of the Mountain West in this region. I think I'm leaning more towards New Mexico right now, and I'm going to go with Dayton here to win this one. I just feel like they could dominate the glass. They could dominate in the front court. Give me Dayton in this one. Then we got Arizona versus Long Beach State. I don't really like Long Beach State out of their conference. I just feel like, they weren't supposed to be here. They were a bid stealer over teams like UC Irvine, UC Davis. But it is very much like Arizona to lose a game like this, especially in recent years. I think they're different this year. They got Caleb Love on their team. They got Kylan Boswell as the point guard. And yeah, they have choked against weaker teams. I just feel like right here, I like them to win. I'm going to take Arizona here in this one. Now, we do have our final region for the first round. We do have Purdue versus either Montana State or Grambling State. I am going to take Purdue to win that matchup. I know we all want to see Purdue lose to a 16 seed again, but to be honest, I just don't think they are going to lose to either of these teams. These are two of the weaker 16 seeds in the tournament. And yeah, FDU was last year too, though. So you do have to be, thinking about that as well. But I am going to take Purdue here to win this game. Next up, we do have Utah State versus TCU. And that's another 50-50 matchup. First look at it, I did think Utah State had a really good chance at winning. But, thinking about it more, I could see TCU for sure. I mean, Emmanuel Miller has been a player that really stepped up this year. Emmanuel Miller took a big jump up this year, and Jameer Nelson Jr. is a player that I thought would be better, but he hasn't been bad. I think Utah State wins this. I think Utah State, I like to look at teams that just seem to be undervalued or overvalued, right? I think Utah State is undervalued. I think they should have been a 6 seed, maybe a 7 seed, but I think they honestly should have been a 6 seed. And them as an 8 seed could be dangerous, especially with their play style, especially because they have two players that can score a lot of points. And yeah, I just feel like Utah State's underseeded. I think they should have been a 6 seed, at least a 7 seed. Give me Utah State in that one. Gonzaga versus McNeese State. As soon as I saw it, I was thinking, wow, talk about underseed, overseason. Gonzaga should have been a 7 seed, probably. Like, they are way overseeded. And McNeese State might be the best 12 seed on the board. I'm picking McNeese State. I just really think that Shahada Wells, a transfer from TCU. Oh my God, this McNeese State team has been so good. I feel like they're going to win this first round matchup. I like this McNeese State team a lot, and I think they got a really good draw, at least for the first round. I'm going to go with them to get this win. Samford was another team that I really liked as a potential Cinderella. But they got a bad draw. But it could be a good draw. And here's why. I kind of talked about it earlier, right? Kansas is a team. They sat McCauley. They sat Hunter Dickinson. They lost to Cincinnati in the Big 12 championship, or in the Big 12 tournament, not the championship, because they sat their players for this moment. But they don't have a lot of depth. And the way Samford plays, they press the entire game nonstop, and they do have a lot of depth. So if Kansas gets tired, Samford can 100% win this game. And Akor is a stud player for Samford. And Akor versus Kevin McCullough right there. That's the matchup. That's the key matchup. And I think Samford could do it. I think Samford could upset Kansas in the first round. Is it finally time for Bill Self to be the one to lose early in the tournament? I just feel like you look at it like, oh, it's Kansas, though. Like, Kansas isn't going to lose first round. But you look deeper into the matchup. Samford is one of my favorite teams to potentially pull off an upset. They just got a bad matchup against Kansas, but it might be a good matchup because Kansas doesn't have very good depth. If Samford can force some turnovers, which I worry them being able to do against because DeJuan Harris is such a good point guard who handles the ball great, they could do it. I am going to pick Samford, but I don't feel great about it. I like it. I want to see it happen, but I don't know if I feel excellent about it. Next, we got South Carolina versus Oregon. 6 versus 11. This is another one. I mean, the 6-11s. I was just talking about this with Clemson and New Mexico. Have been great and are going to be very hard to pick. Oregon, a team that got a bid steal. They were not going to make the tournament if they did not win the Pac-12, the final Pac-12 tournament. And they got in, and they're playing very good basketball right now. And honestly, Dana Altman has shown that he can pull off some upsets in March Madness. And do we really trust the South Carolina South Carolina team that much? Like, they were a team I was expecting to be a 5 seed. They got a 6, but I was like, okay, if they go up against a team like McNeese, Grand Canyon, I'm probably picking the 12, right? I kind of like Oregon in this matchup. I need to go in and kind of look at who Oregon played in the non-con early this year. I'm wondering if any would be on here. I mean, all their notable games, except for Alabama, they played Alabama kind of close. And that is kind of similar, right? An SEC opponent that they have played. They lost to them by 8 points. Who do we like here, guys? Who do we like here, guys? I'm kind of leaning Oregon. I'm kind of leaning Oregon in this one. Let's go with Oregon. Let's go with Oregon. I mean, they're hot right now. I said it about NC State. I feel like South Carolina could do it, but it's very close. I see Oregon, South Carolina. I see more Oregons. South Carolina's overrated. It's close. It is close. I'm going with Oregon. They're a hot team right now. Let's go. Creighton versus Akron. Whoo! Akron's, you got to look out for them. Enrique Freeman is a very good big. How's he going to go against Ryan Cockbrenner there, right? You got to watch out for the big cock. The big cock Brenner on Creighton is a shot blocking beast. And how is Enrique Freeman going to do against that? Then they got Ali, another solid player. I just really like this Creighton team, though. I thought about Akron like before the bracket came out, but as soon as I've seen them against Creighton, I think Creighton is a team that could potentially make the Final Four. I'm going to go with Creighton. Next up, we do have Texas versus either Virginia or Colorado State. I think Colorado State beats Virginia. I really, really hope that they do, because I don't think Virginia deserves to be in the tournament. I don't think that Virginia deserves to be in the tournament. And I really want to see Max Asmus versus Isaiah Stevens, and I think we're going to see that. And I like Max Asmus in that one. Mostly because I feel like a guy like Dylan DeSue would do really, really good against Colorado State, offensively especially, and I feel like Texas is going to score enough and get past them in that matchup. So give me Texas here as a 7 seed, even though I do kind of feel like Texas is overseeded. I feel like they should be more of an 8 or 9. I just feel like they got a really good draw. Texas got a really good draw, a really good one. Like, honestly, the best possible draw Texas could have gotten. Then we got Tennessee versus St. Peter's. Let's preview this one. Dalton Knecht, I mentioned him earlier, and he's so good, man. Definitely a future NBA player next year. Oh, I did not mean to pick St. Peter's. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe I should pick St. Peter's. But who have they beaten this year? They lost to Seton Hall. Their former coach and Shaheen Holloway. So they don't have the same coach that they had when they made that run to the Elite Eight. They don't have Shaheen Holloway anymore. They don't have a lot of those players that they had, Doug Eddard and company. This is a different St. Peter's team. Their best win is against Iona and Quinnipiac in the championship. Like, look at that margin, man. They score 65 points per game and they give up 63 points per game. That's just not enough points to be going up against Tennessee. Dalton Knecht is going to put up 40. Dalton Knecht could put up 40, man. At least 30. At least 30. All right. So our first round's done. Let's head up back to our top region where you have UConn versus FAU in the next round. And wow, this is going to be fun. Tristan Newton, John L. Davis, Big Vladdy going up against big old Donovan Clingan, which I think Vlad Golden gets dominated by Clingan, by the way. Like, I just do. I just feel like UConn's ball movement is so good, man. Their set offense is amazing. It's amazing, man. It could be close. The only thing holding me back on this is, I think, the last 5 or 6 years, the defending national champion has lost first or second round. The past 5 or 6 years this has happened. Since 2018, 2017, Villanova lost as a 1 seed to Wisconsin, was an 8 or 9. In the second round, they were the defending champions from 2016. All the way up until last year where Kansas lost to Arkansas in the second round as a 1 seed. This has happened. So that's the only thing holding me back. But I think UConn is so good. So good. So I have to go with UConn, but that is the one thing holding me back. The one thing holding me back from maybe picking UConn in this matchup. But trying not to think about that, even though it is in the back of my head, I got to go with UConn because they look freaking fantastic all year long. San Diego State versus Auburn. What a defensive matchup. Jaden Ledee, Janai Broom. Oh my gosh. I have to look at their stats. 66 points per game on opponent points per game and 68 opponent points per game. Wow. Look at these defensive matchups. And you look at it versus top 25 teams, 3-0 and 4-3. And Auburn has not done well against quad 1 teams. But their BPI rank is 4? I did not think Auburn was that high. Wow. But they're high in the net too. I like San Diego State in this matchup. Something's telling me I just feel like I like San Diego State here in this matchup. I just don't think Auburn plays good against other really good teams. And I really want to see a rematch from last year's national championship in the Sweet 16. This was last year's national championship. They get a rematch. Let's go. The storylines are all over the East region right now. Then we do have BYU versus Illinois. A very fun matchup. I mean, BYU is such a good shooting team, but Illinois is a very good offensive team too. As we've seen, Terrence Chan Jr. can put up a lot of points. They can go on runs. Like that game where they were down against Nebraska yesterday and they came back and won. That shooting performance was insane. And I really kind of want to go with BYU, but I don't know. I have very, very big trust issues with the Big Ten. Very, very good big trust issues with the Big Ten in March. But BYU is just so good shooting too. Like, this is going to be an offensive game. Let's look at their stats. 81 points per game and 84 points per game. Like, this is going to be outrageous. Illinois 1-4 versus top 25 teams, though. 1-4. I think I like BYU. It's going to be close. It's going to be high scoring. Give me BYU in the slight 6-3 upset. Drake versus Iowa State is fun. Terrence Shannon Jr., game changer? He definitely could be. I mean, he was a game changer tonight against Wisconsin. And every game he's played in. But I'm going to go with BYU. Let's go. Drake versus Iowa State. Tucker DeVries. We got Wright at point guard. We got Big Brody down low. Honestly, I don't hate this matchup for Drake in the second round. I mean, Iowa State is very, very, very good. But I think Drake could make a run here. I don't hate the draw for them. Whatsoever. Let's kind of look at the stats here a little bit. Iowa State's so good. They hold their opponents to 61 points per game, but Drake scores 80 points per game. I think the key is going to be Tucker DeVries. How are they going to slow him down? Is it going to be, Milan guarding him? Is it going to be Rob Jones, who's a guy who they can be put in there as like an energy guy to slow him down? It's going to be very interesting, but I'm going to pull Drake out here as the upset. Let's get it. 10 versus 6 here in the Sweet 16. I like that. I think Iowa State could be beatable right there. It's going to be tough. Iowa State's really good, but I'm picking Drake. I like them a lot. They're one of my favorite mid-majors right now in this tournament. Houston versus Nebraska. This is like Houston's first real test. I don't think Longwood's going to be too much of a problem for them. I think they're going to blow them out. Nebraska could be tough, though, because they are another one of those great shooting teams that just could get hot. But Houston is the number one defense in the country. I think they shut them down. I am going to go with Houston to win this one. Nebraska could do it. If they're playing their absolute best, Houston's missing shots, and Nebraska is just raining threes, I could see it. I just think Houston is one of the best teams in the country, and they are the best defensive team in the country. I'm going to go with Houston. James Madison versus Duke. Can we keep the James Madison train going? Can they keep on running with this, man? I really like this James Madison team. I just feel like Duke is going to play really good in March Madness. James Madison is very good. 84 points per game, holding their opponents to 69 points per game. That's a 15-point margin. Can we keep the James Should the Dukes keep on rolling, man? Keep on dancing. Can the Dukes keep on dancing here? I kind of want to do that. I kind of want them to keep on dancing. I just think Duke, man. I kind of feel like Duke is going to win this one. I just kind of feel like Duke. Yeah, I'll go with Duke. I think Jared McCain, Tyrese Proctor are, big X factors. Mark Mitchell. They have enough key players along with their stars and Kyle Filipowski, Jeremy Roach that I think they're going to be able to get by in this one. It's going to be a close one, though. It'll be a very close game. NC State versus Kentucky. Wow, that is a good matchup because NC State gets hot, man. They could beat Kentucky because Kentucky has shown that they can lose to just about anybody, if they're not having a good night. I feel like a guy like Reed Shepherd could take over games, but NC State is hot right now, and they're going up against a team that doesn't necessarily have the best defense at all, at all. NC State's hot, and they're playing against a team that doesn't have that great of a defense. This is like one of those games I could see NC State just pulling off, and it would be a crazy upset. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe picking that. But Kentucky's offense is so good. Kentucky's offense is just so good, man. I'm going to go with NC State. Kentucky. Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham, Antonio Reeves, so many good scorers on this team. And they have that guy, what's his name, Big Oso at center, who has been a defensive force for them recently as far as protecting the rim. Give me Kentucky. Then we got Florida versus Marquette. I could see Florida as a team to potentially make a run. Honestly, they just lost their center though, and then who's going to guard Iguodaro? And yeah, Florida has a lot of great guards and a lot of guard depth, but so does Marquette. And they might be better. Tyler Kolek, Cam Jones, one of the best backcourts in the country, along with Stevie Mitchell, Ross. I wish they still had Sean Jones. He got injured earlier this year. I think he tore his Achilles. I like Marquette in this one to go to the Sweet 16. Shaka Smart's first Sweet 16 since he was at VCU and went to the Final Four. All right, next up we do have St. Mary's versus Alabama. We do have North Carolina versus Michigan State. That's one that we definitely cannot skip over. Guys, does Michigan State have a shot? Does Michigan State have a shot in this one? Let me know. Because we usually do see at least one seed lose before the Sweet 16, most of the time. And I'm thinking this definitely possibly could be it. But Michigan State just has not been playing that great. But Michigan State also doesn't usually look that great all the time. And then they have some success in March. That's just the way Tom Izzo does it. I just can't in my right mind pick it. RJ Davis has just been playing too good. I think he outperforms Tyson Walker, AJ Hoggard. Harrison Ingram is just such a great hustle player. And who's guarding Armando Bacot on Michigan State? Give me North Carolina to move on. St. Mary's versus Alabama. St. Mary's versus Alabama here. And that is a great 4 versus 5 matchup where honestly, I'm kind of liking Alabama in this one. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like Alabama in this one. I just feel like Mark Sears is a guy that can take over, go on a little bit of a run in March. Aaron Estrada, Grant Nelson, some solid players. Give me Alabama here to move on as the 4 seed. New Mexico versus Baylor. This might be one where I'm really thinking about an upset. I mean, New Mexico has all the pieces to get this done. I think that New Mexico's guards might actually be better than Baylor's guards, which is kind of crazy because Baylor has Ray J. Dennis, Jacoby Walter, but New Mexico has Mashburn, House, Donovan Dent, and then they have JT Toppin, and I mentioned earlier Baylor kind of does struggle a little bit against some really good bigs. I like New Mexico in this matchup. Actually, I like it a lot. I think the tougher matchup for them might be Clemson. If they get past Clemson, I feel good about them beating Baylor here, which is kind of crazy to say. But if they can get past Clemson, I feel pretty good about them beating Baylor. 650 viewers in here. Let's go. Let me know who you guys have winning the national championship this year. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new, because we are making our official bracket predictions as a video tomorrow. So it's coming out. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Let's get it. Next up, we do have Dayton versus Arizona. And this is a fun matchup. Omar Ballo versus Darren Holmes. I just don't know if I like the guard play for Dayton here. I think that's going to be kind of their detriment here. It's a 50-50 already that they can beat Nevada. And I just honestly, I feel like Arizona's probably going to win this matchup. It's tough, but I feel like I like them in this matchup. I feel like I like Arizona in this matchup. I honestly do feel like Dayton doesn't have enough offense and they don't have enough guard play. This is kind of a good draw for Arizona. I think the toughest matchup for these first 2 games would be Nevada. I think that would be their toughest matchup in the first 2 games. I kind of like Arizona to make the Sweet 16 here. So our last region's second round matchups, we have Purdue and Utah State. All 3 of my 1 seeds have made it to the Sweet 16 so far. Can all 4 1 seeds make the Sweet 16, or is Purdue losing in the first round or in the second round? This Utah State team, I feel like could maybe do it. I feel like this Utah State team could maybe do it, but Purdue is just so good. Will they choke? I mean, Utah State is going to have to force Purdue to shoot. They're going to need guys like Braden Smith, Lance Jones, all these guys to shoot, have a bad night. And yeah, they did last year in March Madness, but this year during the season, they have not had a bad night. And I think adding Lance Jones was such a huge pickup for them and a difference maker. He's such a difference maker, man. I just feel like it's hard for me to not pick Purdue here, even though I really want to pick Utah State. I'm going to pick Purdue. Sadly, all 4 of my 1 seeds are going to make the Sweet 16 here. Man, if any of my 1 seeds lose early, I think it might be that one or possibly Michigan State, just because Tom Izzo is so good in March. FAU could potentially beat UConn. I like Houston to the Sweet 16 at least. One of these 1 seeds are losing next round, though. They're not all making the Elite 8. McNeese State versus Samford, our 12 versus 13 matchup here. And wow, this would be awesome. McNeese versus Samford. I don't know who I want to pick because these are 2 of my favorite mid-majors coming into the tournament this year. They've both been amazing. Who would you guys pick in this? If this was the situation, we had 12 versus 13, who would you guys pick? McNee's more of a great defensive team. Their point of margin is 19 points per game, which is insane. They beat their opponents by 19 points per game. Sanford a little smaller at 13, but they have higher offense. Like I mentioned earlier, they have great offense, and they press a lot. They shoot a lot early in the shot clock. Sanford could do it. I'm going to go with McNeese, though. I think I trust them more as a team. I think that they're going to see this as a key opportunity to keep going far, and give me McNeese here to win that one. Oregon versus Creighton is a very fun matchup. And for storyline purposes, this is amazing. Dana Altman, former coach of Creighton, going up against the greatest Creighton coach of all time in McDermott. I mean, the success he's had at Creighton, I mean, wow. Amazing for storyline purposes, and I think it is only right that Creighton wins this game and makes it to, their third Sweet 16 in a row? Definitely their third Sweet 16 in the past 4 years for sure, but I think maybe their third straight Sweet 16. Creighton moves on. Next up, we got Texas versus Tennessee. And again, battle of a coach versus his former team. Rick Barnes, coach of Tennessee, going up against his former team in Texas that he used to coach. And Rick Barnes is a guy that can choke in March. We've seen it before. But I kind of feel like this year they're going to make the Sweet 16 for the second year in a row. I think Tennessee's the type of team they're going to play really good until they play the really good teams. And then that is probably where they are going to choke and lose, because that's kind of how they've been this year. Every time they played a good team, they have lost. I will pick Tennessee to get past Texas here, but I don't know how much further I'm going to take them because I like Creighton a lot. So we have our Sweet 16, UConn versus San Diego State, a rematch of last year's national championship. Wow, this would be amazing to see. And I think similar to how it went down last year, some different players in here, but a lot of the same players as well. I'm picking UConn. Keep on rolling and make it to the Elite Eight. Then we got BYU versus Drake. Another very fun matchup where I think Drake, they're hot right now. They just beat Washington State. They just beat Iowa State. BYU just beat Illinois in what is definitely going to be a very high offense, high-scoring matchup. And I don't know who I want to pick. I think Tucker DeVries is going to take over March Madness and get the Drake Bulldogs to the Elite Eight. Give me Drake. We need some double-digit seeds to go far. It's bound to happen in March Madness. Let's go. Give me Drake to move on to the Elite Eight. Houston versus Duke. This would be a great matchup. I think this was Houston's first real test of this tournament. I think Nebraska could definitely give them a run for their money if they're shooting great, playing to the best of their abilities. But I think Houston can get past them. I think Duke is going to be a tough matchup for them. But they do have great defensive players like Jawan Roberts down low, who could guard up on Kyle Filipowski. And I think Jamal Shedd and LJ Cryer could take over this game. I think that they are more experienced than guys like Jared McCain or even a Tyrese Proctor, who is a sophomore. Jeremy Roach is the veteran guard there on Duke, though. Cannot forget about him. I got to go Houston, I think. I could see Duke beating them, though. I could definitely see Duke beating them. Like, I'm thinking Mark Mitchell and Kyle Filipowski down low, if they can get some scoring on, like, Jawan Roberts and company, then Duke can win, especially if Jared McCain who's a freshman, who's the X factor in this game, goes off. What do you guys think, guys? Do you guys think Duke could pull this off? You guys think Duke could pull this off? Because the matchups here are kind of favoring Duke overall, but just Jamal Shed and LJ Cry are kind of making me feel like no. I see a lot of no's. I see a couple yeses. I think that they could do it. I'm going to pick Duke here. I can't have all my 1 seeds to the Elite Eight. I don't even like to have I like to have one seed losing before Sweet 16 because it always happens. Give me Duke here. Kentucky versus Marquette. I think that this is a very fun matchup and a lot of offense, honestly, and a lot of great backcourts. You got on Kentucky, like I mentioned, like Antonio Reeves, Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham going against Tyler Kolek, Stevie Mitchell, Cam Jones, who has been killing it. I honestly don't know who I want to pick in this matchup. I'm leaning Kentucky. Iguodaro could score. I just don't really know if I trust Kentucky's defense, though. I just don't know if I trust Kentucky's defense. I really don't think I trust Kentucky's defense. I could see it go either way, to be honest. I'm going to go with Marquette just because they have been so good offensively. I feel like they've been more consistent over the course of the whole season where they almost beat Purdue. They beat Kansas pretty bad. And I just feel like they get Tyler Kolek back off of a little injury. Cam Jones has been playing amazing. And give me Marquette. Give me Marquette here. I just don't trust Kentucky's defense enough. I could see Kentucky making it to the Final Four, but then again, I could see that every year, and it hasn't been happening recently. So next up, we got North Carolina versus Alabama, and this is a fun one where I could see Mark Sears or R.J. Davis going head-to-head point guard battle would be amazing. I would love to see that happen. And who's going to win that match? I think, yeah, you could say RJ Davis at first look, but Mark Sears is not bad at all. Then you got like Grant Nelson, who's going to have to compete down low with Armando Bacot a lot. You got Aaron Estrada, who's going to have to play big for Alabama. I just think Alabama has a lot of offense to where on a really good night, look at this, 21 points per game, 21 points per game. What? I need to see that, man. I need to see that. 90 points per game for Alabama. They're a similar team to Kentucky to me where I just don't know if I trust their defense a lot. They're also 2-7 against top 25 teams. But look at their BPI rank. Alabama's actually a higher BPI rank than North Carolina. I don't know. I just think Alabama has an offensive explosion in this game. Didn't these two teams play actually earlier in the year and North Carolina won? I think they did. If so, Bama gets their revenge. Bama moves on to the Elite Eight. Let's get it. New Mexico versus Arizona. New Mexico is on a huge run right now, and a fun matchup. New Mexico, Arizona, they're neighbors as far as states go. A fun one. Let's preview this because I like New Mexico a lot to go far. And I love Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, Donovan Dent, JT Toppin. I feel like they have a complete squad on this team to really go far in the tournament. And I just don't know if I trust Arizona to go further than the Sweet 16. I definitely don't trust Arizona to go all the way to the Final Four. And I think New Mexico just has a very solid team where I could see them go far. I think they're built for March Madness. They just ran through the Mountain West tournament and won the Mountain West tournament. Give me New Mexico. Give me New Mexico. I feel like New Mexico has a good path versus teams like Baylor and Arizona that they can beat. They are beatable teams for New Mexico, and I like them to keep on dancing to the Elite Eight to go up against Alabama. McNeese versus Purdue. How funny would it be for Purdue to make it back to the Sweet 16 and lose to another double-digit seed? They lost to St. Peter's in the Sweet 16. They lost to FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson, in the first round last year. They just cannot help themselves but lose to these Cinderella teams. And McNeese is definitely part of that Cinderella group. They got good players like Shahada Wells. They have very good defense, honestly. Opponent point per game, 61 points per game. Insane. I just don't know if I can trust them enough to beat Purdue here. I think Purdue might be able to get it done here. I just don't know who I want to pick here. I think I'm going to go with Purdue to beat McNeese. I just feel like if McNeese gets hot, they could keep on dancing here. If McNeese gets hot, they could keep on dancing. But I don't want to pick too many upsets. I already have New Mexico and Drake in the Elite Eight, right? So is that too many upsets to have a third double-digit seed in the Elite Eight? I feel like that might be too many upsets. I feel like that might be too many upsets. I kind of want to pick McNeese. Purdue is just so prone to losing to these Cinderella teams. But they could see this as a big opportunity. Like, okay, we're getting like a gift from God here where we're in the Sweet 16 and we get a 12 seed. Like, I'm going to go with Purdue. They take advantage of the opportunity given to them, and they finally beat the Cinderella and move on to the Elite Eight. Now, we do have Creighton versus Tennessee. This is the matchup I really want to see. Baylor Shireman versus Don Connett at the small forward position. It would be awesome. Ryan Cockburn going against that Tennessee front court that is also good defensively. But I think Creighton's guards are just better. I think it would take a big performance from guys like Zakai Ziegler and Stefan Vescovi for Tennessee to win this. I just don't trust Rick Barnes. I do trust McDermott here. I am going to take the Creighton Blue Jays here to move on to their second straight Elite Eight. I just think Trey Alexander, Stephen Ashworth, I trust a whole lot more than Tennessee's guards and Vescovi and Zakai Ziegler. So we do have UConn versus Drake is our first Elite Eight matchup, and I think this is where I'm going to have Drake's run come to an end. I don't see Drake making it to the Final Four here, especially against UConn, who is the best team in college basketball, just all around. So good offensively, so good defensively. They have the best set offense in college basketball. And I'm going to take UConn. First team to the Final Four here in this bracket. Next up, we got Duke versus Marquette. Another great matchup where we have another Big East team. We have all three Big East teams making it to the Elite Eight. Probably shouldn't have had that, but honestly, I do like the matchups for them. Duke and Marquette. I don't know if I can pick Marquette here. I just think Iguodaro, Kyle Filipowski is probably the matchup. But I do like Marquette's guards. Can Shaka Smart get a team back to the Final Four? I'm going to go with Duke. I'm going to go with Duke here to win this game. I just think Jeremy Roach, veteran point guard, Tyrese Proctor, another solid guard. And if Jared McCain is the X factor, if Jared McCain is playing good, he could be the player that gets Duke back to the Final Four here. Give me the Blue Devils. Now, we have Alabama versus New Mexico. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I am going to have the 11-seeded New Mexico continue dancing with all their great guards. I think it's a good matchup all the way through for them. I really do like New Mexico a lot in a lot of these games. And I like New Mexico, man. I like Donovan Dent. Such a good sophomore point guard. They have great guards in Jamal Mashburn, Jalen House, JT Toppin, the freshman down low. I just really like them. I have them coming out of this region to make the Final Four as an 11 seed. Now, we have Purdue. We have Creighton. And I could see either of these teams making it to the Final Four. I like both of these teams in the Elite Eight a lot. I could see Purdue losing early. I could see Creighton possibly losing to Tennessee there. But I like them both in this region coming to the Elite Eight. I just don't know who is going to make the Final Four between these two. I don't know who I want to go with. Ryan Cockburner versus Zach Edey. Baylor Shireman could be a mismatch problem for guys like Mason Gillis. You got Trey Alexander, who's a great defender. I kind of like Creighton in this matchup. I'm not going to lie. I really kind of like Creighton in this matchup. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with the Creighton Blue Jays to make it to the Final Four for the first time in school history. Creighton matches up good. Ryan Cockburner is a great center, defensive center who can guard Zach Edey. They have guys like Trey Alexander, Trey Alexander and Baylor Shireman, long and lengthy, who are going to be able to stop Purdue from shooting good. I think it's a good matchup. For Creighton, honestly. Like, if I'm Purdue, I do not want to see Creighton. There. But here we do. We have my first Final Four and my first bracket here. My first bracket of the year. This is the Final Four I've come up with. We have UConn, we have New Mexico, we have Duke, and Creighton. And this would be a ton of fun. I think I am going to have New Mexico's run finally come to an end. UConn makes it to their second straight national championship game. I do think it would be a close game. I think New Mexico is going to be fighting. They have amazing guards. But I think chasing around guys like Cam Spencer, Stephon Castle, Tristan Newton, because they have so much energy and they run around, shoot off screens, so tough. And you have to worry about a big guy like Donovan Klingon and a stretch four in Alex Caravan and a deep bench. I think it's too much. I'm going to take UConn there. You have Duke and Creighton, and that's one that I could go either way. I don't really want to have a Big East showdown in the national championship game. I just feel like that's unrealistic. So I am going to go with Duke for those reasons, but also because I feel like it's 50-50, and that's kind of the determining factor. I will break it down, though, because I do think Creighton can win. I just really don't want to see a Big East matchup for, the national championship game. But yeah, Kyle Filipowski, Mark Mitchell down low with Ryan Cockburner. You got some great guards. Jeremy Roach, I think, is better than Stephen Ashworth slightly. You got Trey Alexander, who is better than Tyrese Proctor. Baylor Shireman is going to be a mismatch problem for Duke. They might even put Filipowski on Shireman, to be honest with you. But yeah, North Carolina versus Creighton national championship. That would be a very fun national championship. But then we do have UConn versus Duke, and I am going to go with UConn back-to-back national champions. I just feel like this UConn team is just so good. Once again, all their good players they have replaced with other good players. Like Jordan Hawkins left. They replaced him with Cam Spencer, who's playing that role perfectly, amazingly. You have just, oh my gosh, Sanogo left. You have a 7'2" guy and Donovan Clayton come in at your center position. This UConn team is so good. Once again, I am going to have them win the championship. So how many total points will be scored in this game? I think it will be somewhere in the range of like 79 to 70. I'd say about 150. Let's go with that. About 150. And we are going to enter these. And that is going to do it for our first bracket. Let's submit it. Make sure you guys join my bracket group. If you guys have not already, on ESPN Tournament Challenge app, you can search Dannyology. That is the group name. And I'm actually not going to do all that right now. But yeah, we will have our official bracket out tomorrow on the channel as a video. Be on the lookout for that. Subscribe if you guys are new. And yeah, we're going to have not only our official bracket out tomorrow, but we're going to have me reacting to my bracket that I made last year as the video. We're going to have kind of my top 5 teams. We're going to rank every team from 1 to 64 that has made the March Madness tournament. We have so many solid videos coming out on March Madness. You don't want to miss it. You must subscribe. And yeah, guys, I think that is going to do it for this stream. I know you guys are saying do one more. But if you guys want, I will. I could probably stream again later on this week and create some more brackets on stream. But we are going to have my official bracket out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. That will be my official bracket. So that is going to do it for the stream. I appreciate all you guys coming in. I think we had a peak of like 700 or 750 viewers. Absolutely insane. I appreciate it. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I'm out.